Not too bad. Okay, we're just doing a little bit of recording today on November 2nd, 1985, and this, of course, is my dad, Adrey. And why don't we start from way back when you were born? What year was that?
1896, March 1896.
Okay, where were you born?
Ulan, 4.5 miles northwest of Ulan.
Okay, that's on the old place, north of the farm.
Yeah.
And where did you go to school?
Up in the John Amundsen School.
Okay, that was about a mile.
A mile and a half.
Mile and a half north of where you were born, and then of course from school you started working out on the farm and that type of thing. And what were some of the things you did when you first started working?
Oh, well, farming, you know. And I can remember I was out plowing with 3 horses. That's way back.
Instead of a team, you had 3 horses.
On a plow.
Oh, I see. Okay, and you did some construction work. Also, road construction?
Oh, yeah, construction work. That was later, you know. In the 20s and 30s and 40s.
Okay, along with Adolf, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
And that, did you do some construction out in Montana with Adolf?
Well, we thrashed out in Montana in 1917 in the fall, and then, of course, I went home and never went back to Montana because I was drafted in 1918, and then put in a little over a year in the service in Germany and France and Germany, and come back in 1919, and about August 1919.
Okay. Well, okay, when you were over in France and Germany, what type of work did you do over there?
Mostly engineer, bridges and roads and bridges.
Okay. I think you've mentioned you used to work on those projects at night.
Oh, every night, not in the daytime.
Because they were...
Just night work, up at the front.
Okay, what was the front? I think you mentioned something about the Argonne? Or?
Argonne front, yeah.
Okay. How long a period of time was that?
Well, we was from August, sometime in August, till the 11th of November, you know, under fire all the time.
Okay. And so, how long a time were you overseas during the First World War? What month did you leave? Did you come back within the same year, or was that
no,
the next year?
Next year. We went over in last part of July, I think.
Of 1917?
Of 1918.
Okay.
And come back. I come back 1st of August the next year.
Okay. And then before you got out, I know you you became sick, and you went into the hospital. Where was that at?
Oh, that was in when we was in Germany after the war, and in the spring, about in May or June, I went on a furlough to southern France, to the Riviera. Aix-les-Bains was the place we were at.
Mm-hmm.
And we was there, while I was there, maybe about 20-some days, because I was in the hospital most of the time.
Oh, yeah. What was the reason you were in the hospital?
Well, I got the mumps the 4th day I was there.
Oh, I see.
So then I was taken to the hospital and quarantined.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't get out of there till I was well, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There was 3 of us in the mumps ward And we was in there.
Where were the other guys from? Can you remember any of them?
Well, they were from my company, a lot of them, that was with me there.
I see.
And
None of them from this area, I suppose. From other
I
states.
think there was a couple of them. It seems to me, I got a picture of them, but I'm not sure. I think they're on it.
Okay, then when you got out of the hospital, you had some problem getting back with the same group as you came or went over there with. How
Well,
did that work out?
When I come out of the hospital, of course, then my outfit in Germany had left for home, or left there, you know. So they didn't know where to send us then, you know, because our outfit was on the move. They were going home, most of them. So then it took quite a while then till they found where they were at. So then I finally found the outfit where it was at, but it was they were going to sail the next day, and they had sailing orders for so many men, and so that was all set up, you know, so they sailed. So I had to wait then till they formed a castle company for a Minnesota bunch, you know. So then we waited around until we got called for the Minnesota.
So that was a matter of a few days
Well,
later, or was it?
It took quite a few days,
Oh, I
maybe
see.
a week or two.
How long a trip was that over on the ship that you came back on? Do you remember the name of the ship that you came back?
USS Alaskan.
Okay.
That's American ship.
I think you've got a picture of that here.
Yeah.
Okay, about how many people were there on a ship like that?
I don't remember now. It seems to me it was 1,500, but I'm not sure. It was quite a few companies.
Okay, where did you land then?
New York Harbor.
Oh, yeah. And then from there, I suppose you took a troop train or something back to this area, or?
From there we got on a train and went to New Jersey to Camp not Camp Stewart, but Camp.
I can't think of the names of any of them either.
It's a camp there, so we were sent to that camp then from the seaport, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And from there on, we went to Camp Dodge.
Camp Dodge, let's see, where was that at?
Iowa.
Okay, then did you get discharged from there, or?
Yeah.
And then you came back here, or you didn't go back to Montana?
No,
You didn't go in from Montana, did you? Or
No,
you came back here
went
and
in.
went with the Clay County group?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Have you traveled in very many states? I mean, back then, I know later you didn't travel a whole lot. You went to Missouri, I remember, back in about the early 50s or late 40s.
Yeah.
How many states do you think you have covered?
Well, I've covered from Washington to New York, then, you know, and down towards Florida.
Oh, yeah.
South Carolina. South Carolina, I went direct to South Carolina into service.
Oh, yeah.
And then from there, overseas then, you know, or Virginia, Newport News. That's where we went overseas from.
Okay, well, I guess we've talked maybe enough on that. Now, how about some of the information on your folks, Gus Fivig and Emma Fivig? Were they born here in this country, or?
They were born in Norway.
Oh, they were born in Norway. Okay, and Gus, then, was he from Nunstad?
Yeah.
Okay, how about your mother? Where was she from?
I forget. I think it's Ringerike or something.
Oh, yeah, I think I've heard you mention that.
Seems to me it was that.
Do you know anything about how many sisters or brothers she might have had?
She only had a sister, one full sister, but she had a couple of half sisters.
I see. Okay. How about, and did they come over to the United States, or did they stay over there in Norway?
No, they were born in the United States.
Oh, your mother...
The half-sisters
Oh,
was born
okay.
there.
How about your dad now? How many brothers and sisters did he have, do you know?
He had 4 brothers and 1 sister.
Okay.
A full brother and sister then. He had half, a couple of half.
Do you remember their names?
Oh, they had which one?
The names of your dad's brothers and sisters. I know there was a John.
Yeah, it was Gus. That's my dad. He was the oldest of them. Gus and John and George and Ole and Lars. And then they had a sister, Carrie Harrington. She was married to a Harrington. And they also had another sister. I think that was a Jacobson. That's way back. I didn't.
No.
Didn't.
You wouldn't maybe have known too much about.
I think there was two.
Were they most of them in the United States, or were they?
They were all in the United States.
Okay.
Anyway. See, the old man was 5 years old when he come here with his family. So of course they were all. Well, there was some that was born here.
I see.
Some that was born here even. Most of them.
Was he one of the oldest then?
Yeah, he was the oldest one.
Okay.
There was one older, but he was in the Civil War, so he was killed in the Civil War. He was older than...
You don't know his name, do you?
Martin.
Martin?
Yeah.
He was killed in the Civil War. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, then your dad, when he first came to the United States, of course he was 5 years old, you say. As he grew up, where did he first settle?
They first landed in Wisconsin.
This is where he came.
Yeah, that's where
when he was 5 years old.
Well, they were. I suppose they come to New York, or up in that country.
Sure.
And then they come to Wisconsin first, where they first settled.
Okay, and so he kind of grew up in Wisconsin then?
No, they weren't there very long. A year or two, I think.
Okay.
Seems to me it's just a little while. And then they went to southern Minnesota from Wisconsin to,
I think you said Fillmore County?
Yeah, well, that wasn't the first. It was, I forget where it was. But there was another little farther south and southwest of Fillmore County, but they weren't there more than a year or two, and then they moved to Fillmore County, and that's where they grew up.
Okay. How about your mother? Do you know where they got acquainted? That was down there?
That'd be in Fillmore County.
Okay. Is that where she maybe grew up? Or?
No, she come from Norway, but
yeah. Okay.
She come later than he did.
Okay, and then they traveled up here to Ulen. I think you've mentioned they weren't necessarily going to settle here at Ulen at first.
They were going to go to Halstead. From Fillmore County, they were going to Halstead because he had some cousins in Halstead. And then they figured, well, he is supposed to be good land there and good country, so that's the reason he was going there.
Okay, and what's the reason they settled here instead?
Well, he come as far as Borup over here, and it was in the spring, so it was a lot of water, and it was just like a lake over there, so he found out they couldn't get to Halstead.
I see. And they traveled how?
A covered wagon, team and a covered wagon.
Okay, how many kids were there then? I know Louise was one of the oldest.
That's the only one they had.
That's the only one. So the rest of you kids were born here?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see. I'm not sure where we go from here. I think we'll... for now. Okay, it's November the 4th, 1985, and I thought I'd do a little bit of recording this noon just to see what this would look like in existing light or sunlight coming in through the window. And I'm sitting in the easy chair right next to where the TV used to be, and now of course we've got the TV across the room, so it's in the southeast corner of the room, whereas before it was in the northwest corner. I was at work